sometimes Japan play against, and I saw the result. And normally it's a really difficult game, but now it looks really soft.
Yeah.
Maybe Korean generation changed.
네, 여러분 안녕하십니까, 한만성입니다. 페어포인트 보이는 인터뷰 세 번째예요. 누구시죠, 근데?
저는
네.
이준우입니다.
그렇군요. 네. 준우님이랑 오늘 같이 또 보이는
안녕하세요.
인터뷰를 우리 둘이서 보이는 인터뷰 이렇게 하는 건 처음인 것 같아요.
그렇죠. 예.
세르주 코스타를 하긴 했는데 그때는 원격으로 했기 때문에.
그렇죠. 예.
예. 어색하신가요?
아니요, 괜찮습니다.
그래요?
예.
뭔가 어색하다는 표정이 보이는 것 같아요. 근데 뭐 괜찮다고 하시니?
원래 카메라 뒤에 있다가
네.
앞으로 나오니까 좀 긴장이 되는 것
뭐 사실
같긴
카메라는 저도 썩 그렇게 친하지는 않아요. 근데 저희가 오늘 좀 특별한 게스트를, 이번에도 뭐 늘 특별하지만 굉장히 특별한 게스트를
보시다시피,
모셨습니다.
예.
네, 5년 동안 2018년부터인가요? 2023년까지 일본 대표팀 주장을 했었던 마야 요시다 마야 선수를 오늘 초대를 해서 여기 캘리포니아주 팜스프링이라고 해야 되나요? 여기를 코첼라라고 해야 되나요?
인디오라고.
정확히는 인디오라고
네,
해야 되죠.
인디오.
뭐 인근 도시 팜스프링.
그렇죠.
더 크게 잡으면 뭐 LA라고 할 수는 있겠지만 좀 멀죠, 거기서는. 네, 그래서 오늘 마야 요시다와 만나서 그냥 전반적인 요시다와의 인터뷰라기보다는요, 이 일본 대표팀 주장과의 어떤 이 한일 축구 이 라이벌 관계, 그리고 이 라이벌 관계를 맺어가면서 협력 관계를 맺어가고 있는, 약간 좀 그렇게 좀 큰 그림에서 보면은 정말 한국과 일본의, 이 영어로 얘기하면은 심바이오릭 릴레이션십이라고 그러잖아요.
그쵸,
이거
네.
보고 우리가 이 라이벌 관계에서 이거를 좀 그칠 게 아니라 어떻게 이걸 그렇게 좀 승화시킬 수
공생 관계.
있겠느냐. 왜냐하면 작년에 제가 요시다 이 선수를 인터뷰를 했는데 서로 그런 얘기를 좀 많이 했어요. 우리가 정보 공유를 좀 많이 해야 된다.
네.
그러니까 저랑 정보 공유를 하겠다는 얘기가 아니라 이 한국 축구와 좀 교류가 잦아졌으면 좋겠다라는 얘기를 하더라고요. 그래서 제가 1년이 좀 지났지만 이거에 대해서 좀 더, 그때는 사실 피파 인터뷰였어요, 이게. 그래가지고 일본 대표팀 얘기도 좀 많이 했어야 됐고, 좀 그런 다른 내용, 좀 큰 내용들이 많이 들어갔는데, 일본 관련해서 한국과 어떤 일본의 축구적인 관계에 대해서 인터뷰를 하면 어떻겠냐라고 제안을 했더니 흔쾌히 하겠다고 해서 저희가 일주일 만에 여기 이렇게 왔습니다.
네.
그래서 인터뷰를 이렇게 진행을 하게 됐고요. 지금 요시다 선수는 미디어 트레이닝 중이에요. 프로 생활만 지금 거의 17년 정도를 한 선수가 무슨 미디어 트레이닝이 필요한지 는 모르겠지만, 또 이제 또 팀의 어떤 그런 또 프로토콜을
미디어
지켜야 되지
환경은
않겠어요?
늘 변하지 않습니까?
네. 그래서 지금 열심히 트레이닝 중인데 한 30분 후 정도의 접선을 저희와 하게 되지 않을까. 시계가 안 보이네요. 싶습니다. 그럼 저희는 요시다 선수와 함께 잠시 후에 다시 돌아오겠습니다. Hey, what's up, everybody? Steve Han here with the third interview in what is it, 3-4 months?
Yeah, 4 months.
And who are you again?
My name's June.
And I'm Steve Han. And here we have Maya Yoshida, the former Japan national team captain of 5 years? Premier League, Serie A, Bundesliga, you name it, he's been through it all. Mr. Yoshida, how's it going?
Very good, thank you.
Thanks for taking your time to meet with us. How has it been, man? How are you?
I'm doing well so far. It's good pre-season so far, and ready for the new season.
First of all, congratulations on winning the MLS season 2024. But I have some questions about that, because I felt like where you are in your career, you know, we consider all the factors. You told me last year when I interviewed you that there was only one thing missing in LA. Well, you did tell me that LA is a little too expensive, but another thing you told me was only thing that's missing was winning.
Yeah.
Now you've done that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you an honest question. Why are you still around here?
It's very complicated. It's not the only one reason. Many circumstances around me, family, and my career, and longer term future project as well. But the bigger things I wanted to keep challenging my career. It's easy to, for example, go back to Japan and people treat me very well, and yeah, it's financially also very good, but I'm the guy, you know, very hungry and
Sure.
ambitious.
Still.
Like to have a new experience as well. Especially this time we have a CONCACAF Champions League.
Right.
And new players coming. And also family quite like
Right.
their lifestyle as well.
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah. Shifting gears a little bit, you've been away from international duty for about 2 years now, a little less than 3 years. Looking at Japan today, the national team, aside from having more players in Europe, obviously, what's maybe one thing that you see in Japan today that maybe you didn't see when you were first starting your national team career in 2010? That's already 15 years ago. Can you believe that?
I think the difference is very obvious. That experience. So now most of the players play in Europe. When I started, it was like probably 30%, 40%.
Right.
And now it's getting bigger and bigger and more experience. And player used to play against the big names. So the international match or big competition like World Cup is not something special anymore. Of course, it's special, but to play against this kind of guy like Lukaku, Hazard, or against Brazil, against England, this is normal for these guys now today. That's the biggest difference. That's what we really wanted since 15 years ago, and I think we are on the right track to improve ourselves. But of course, the team squad is always have up and down, and we still have 18 months to go. More or less, and everybody have to fit, everybody have to play, and in the good competition. Like Captain Endo now is missing a playing time, and some defenders are injured. Just Ito from Bayern just came back, but still big competition in the squad. Tomiyasu have a longer time injury again, so you never know. Everything is possible, up and down. So the team have to be very stable.
Yeah, and over the course of your 13-year career with the national team, do you feel like if there's a contribution that you've made to the Japanese national team that you maybe like a legacy you left there that you see today that maybe that didn't exist 13 years before you started playing for the national team, what would that one thing? What's one thing that you look back and you look at the Japanese national team now and say, man, that's something that I'm really proud to have left there?
Whoa, a lot.
That's great. Let's hear it.
No, not. It's not only me, but our generation. I think, to be fair, our generation opened the door for European football, and now on, it's much easier for young players to come over to Europe. I would say like Sugawara, for example, from Southampton. After me and Minamino played in that club, it's much easier for him to join because everybody understands how Japanese is, how people walking and attitude, behave. So it's much easier. Also, the reputation and the market value. Probably 15 years ago, they have big doubt to pay 2-3 million to Japanese players, but now 2-3 million is very cheap for them. And they even paying like 10 million. Then Mitoma got a big offer from Emirates. This is a different level now. So we all our generation lift up our reputation and open the door. This is the biggest contribution.
I mean, talking about legacy, I know you serve as the president of the Japanese Players Association right now. What does that role entail, and what was your motivation for accepting that role?
I don't know.
Don't tell me you were pushed into doing this.
No, I wanted to do.
Okay.
So no one forced me to do. Some people say it's crazy because this is really hard work.
Sure.
You have to spend a lot of your off time, especially after the training. But during my time in Europe, I was always thinking, how can we improve Japanese football? And probably this is the one. Then surely we have to improve our domestic league, which is called J League. Otherwise, you cannot improve national team, or you cannot supply the better players. most of the guys come from J League. Minamino, Tomiyasu, Mitoma, Endo, everybody come from J League.
Yeah.
And new generation now, young kids probably thinking already ahead or above, beyond, like Premier League, Champions League, Serie A, Bundesliga, but it's not easy to just become a J League player.
Yeah.
So, how to improve J League from players' view? It's very important because J League have done very, very well in the last 30 years.
Undoubtedly.
And improving a lot. So start from 10, then now they have J1, 2, 3, and 60 plus women's soccer as well.
Yeah.
So in last 30 years, this kind of expand. No one did before.
Yeah.
That was very good and financially very, very good as well. But some players are struggling still, so we changed the rules for salary cap, and we're gonna change the season as well to just adjust to the European calendar.
Right.
And
How is that discussion going in Japan, actually?
it's already done.
They already made that decision.
After the World Cup.
Yeah.
And also the salary cap for the rookie
Yeah.
is also increased.
Higher.
Yeah. That's we need because 30 years didn't change. Instead, and the economic is totally changed.
Yeah.
For example, this Californian economics is very high instead of Japan. So if I'm the dad, so if I have only daughter, but if I have my son, I graduate, I paid everything. And he graduated to university. Then instead of going to, I would say Sony, for example, or Nintendo or whatever, and then Toyota, or he want to go become J3 player, I would say no, because financially very poor. There's no dream, and that have to increase. Surely, then financially the team have to manage much better. Because of 30 years, during that time one club bankrupt, so I understand the team, the club is protected, same as MLS now.
Sure.
So this 30 years was okay, very good. But next 10 or 20 years, we need to improve the situation. We need to improve the statement for the players and the club. And financially have to be much better. This is a main target. And also the statement for the players. Still, I was England, Italy, Germany. And instead of Japan, its statement is really high, especially England. People respect the football player a lot. But Japan, one celebrity, but nothing special. It's so poor for me.
So you're advocating for conditions in which structurally it will improve players' like prospects and lives, and this is a big point in South Korean sort of media and fans that. The JFA has done kind of a lot of work to, especially push and help the elite players by establishing an office in Dusseldorf, having sort of practical support mechanisms to help them when they're in Europe. Can you explain how that system kind of really works for a player?
Because it's a big thing. And I wouldn't say big, but there's a curiosity in Korea. They have an office in Germany to provide support for the players. Based in Europe, and it's something that Korea actually looked into, but it hasn't come to fruition yet. How does that work with the Japanese players?
I think it's helped a lot for both sides, players and the association, because before there's always time difference. And it's really difficult to communicate. Japan's midnight, Europe is night in the morning, for example. Then the staff are really struggle and exhausted. Instead, we put one office in Düsseldorf. It's really good location for take care of the European and England as well, making office. I used to live, when I was Schalke, I used to live in 10 minutes away from office. I often communicate with the staff and make a meeting many times as a captain before the World Cup. And
that must be
interesting.
As a football players association president, then we can discuss many things. Also, the coaches come to see the game via Düsseldorf. They stay, leave the staff, and by the car go to Belgium.
Right. So that's
Germany.
their base.
Yes.
Right.
It's much easier. Financially also cheaper.
Yeah.
Sure.
Instead of they flying every time Japan, England, or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And they put the thing, economy or Eurostar or whatever, easy.
Right.
And much easier to communicate with the club, especially the player has a problem. Like, oh, this guy selected, but probably not sure, maybe, and the knee back, some issue that we need a scan, I don't know yet, tomorrow maybe, then we have to book the new flight, or we have to call the another players, then it's much more flexibility. And J Leagues will start similar things in London. I think this is very, very good things, and it's helped the player as well.
When we spoke last year, Maya, you talked to me about the relationships you have off the pitch with some of the Korean players. I mean, like Dong Kyung's a good example because he played with you. But then there are also guys like Iguno, Ki Sung-young, even Sonny. Like some of these guys you've played against in the Premier League when you played there. From your standpoint, what are some things that you had common with those guys, or was it kind of like you speak with them and it's like, wow, these guys are a little different from me, or did you find a lot of things in common with them?
We had a meeting with Iguno.
Yeah.
For PFA.
Fairly recently, right? 3 months ago.
Yeah. So they have the same situation, very similar problems we have, and the privacy things also. Some players are sued from mass media, and probably Korea had the similar problem as well. We are ready. Like Korea, or Japan, and Australia also, the big names are ready to collaborate together. If something happens, it's probably the case problem individually or disaster like LA happened, and in LA, for example, every Dodgers, Angels, Lakers, Clippers, Galaxy, LFC, they collaborate together to donate something or having a volunteer as well. Something happened in Asia, we are ready to collaborate. Hopefully not, but we have to be ready for that. And, we can share the information. In J League we do this, and K League we do this. So we can share each other the cases. Then we can improve, or we can use ourselves to improve, to all sort it out.
Maya, I looked this up. 2014 World Cup, your first World Cup. Japan averaged 59% ball possession in 3 of those games. After Germany and Spain. I did not know this either, but I looked this up.
I don't know. Okay.
and then in 2022, your very last World Cup, their ball possession was 34%, which is the second lowest after Costa Rica. And we know what the results were, but my question is not whether or not which system you like better, but you told me last year that you kind of considered the football at the previous World Cup as an improvement of the setup for Japan. But in many ways, when you look at raw numbers like that, it looks like a radical change. So what I want to kind of ask you is, how did the team, you or your teammates, how did you guys respond to that change? Or was it more of a natural thing that happened because you guys had to play against Germany and Spain? Or like, how did that change occur? And like, what was the players' response at first? Because that's not how you guys usually play, especially in Asia or even at the World Cup. That was the first time I saw Japan play that way.
I think because of the opponent. If we play against Germany or Spain, I think most of the team could be like that. And this is realistically the way we should play against these teams. Yes, so, but next step is increasing the possession time. This is very important to save our energy, because every time defend, then we are really back and get the ball, sprint into another goal. It's very, very intense. It's very intense, and also spending a lot of long distance running. So I saw I told in the Japanese interview as well, we need to increase the position. Then we have more time and more save the energy, and we can control the game too. So we can do, because basically we are the team like that, as you say. But because of the opponent we play against the last games, we became like that. But normally we could control
Right.
the game. Also, the game tempo is now getting changed. And before the really high intensity, the high pressure, but also next World Cup we play in Canada, Mexico, US.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
Yeah.
And there's no air condition.
Right.
There's much more longer distance
Right.
for the traveling.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest with you, like the way you played against Germany and then the way you guys played against Costa Rica were obviously very different.
Yeah.
But from a player's standpoint, you play that way against Germany, and then all of a sudden you play Costa Rica. A lot of things change. It almost becomes a different game.
Yeah.
Was there confusion from you guys because you guys had to make that switch?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not really. Because we are doing position play in Asian competition.
Right.
And play against Germany or Italy, Germany or Spain, yeah, could be like that. But this flexibility is good for Japan.
Yeah.
You know, we can change, we can adapt, and the many players can play different multiple
Right.
positions as well.
Right.
And I'm not. So
Well, you scored your fair share of goals.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
yeah,
that's-
yeah. Even for
that's-
the Galaxy. Yeah.
that's a strength for the Japanese squad too.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Then now I see what you mean by improvement of the
But
setup.
also the Qatar, we
Yeah.
have a lot of advantage because we play many games
Right.
in Qatar, so we know what
In the
Qatar
Middle East,
is.
yeah. Yeah.
But now my concern is
It's
not
a different
so
playing
many
field
players
now.
know
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Mexico,
yeah.
Canada.
Right.
And
Maybe they need
US.
you to play.
Not sure. It's a different, things.
See,
but-
so what I wanted to ask you was, you've played in 3 World Cups, and Japan advanced from the group stage twice, which is very impressive the way I look at it. But I do know that from a Japanese standpoint, the quarterfinals appearance is something that you guys really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So when you look back at your World Cup career now, 3 World Cups, which is very impressive, and advanced from the group stage twice too, but do you look back at those 3 World Cups and say, man, I really needed to play in the quarterfinal? Or is it more of, is there sort of like a feel-good thing about what you guys accomplished? Or are you more, is it more like, oh man, I kind of wanted a little bit more because quarterfinals is something that I wanted to achieve with Japan? Is there more of that regret for you, or is it more of a sense of accomplishment?
regret, of course.
Really?
Yes. If you don't have a regret, you will.
this is what I mean,
already-
right?
It's a championship mentality.
Yeah.
Of course, the Belgium. We are 2-0 up.
Right.
Then we lost 3-2. That's if it's a league. If it's a Bayern
Sure.
made this, or Barca did, or City did. Everybody criticize them. But instead, in Japan did that, and everybody say, "Ah, well done, you did well." That means the first reputation is really low.
Yeah.
You know. But for me, it's, we should win that game.
Yeah.
But I think me individual also, then as a team also,
Right.
we lack of experience that time. And after that, Qatar, also we did well, but penalty, I
Yeah.
missed it.
Right.
And of course, the first 3 miss it, it's really, really difficult.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah. You know, I look at the Japan national team. I mean, I think for the most part, you guys have been under a pretty stable management in terms of, the head coach situation, especially compared to ours. Like the 4-year cycle was Akironi. And then the current, 7 years with Moriyasu now? But there were also times when things weren't very stable for you guys, because I remember the times with Javier Aguirre. I remember the times with Halilovic. And I feel like with Javier, it was more of an off the pitch, like non-football kind of thing. But with Halilovic, it kind of, from the outside looking in, it felt like it was a relationship with the players, kind of. But when my question to you is, when there's a controversy surrounding a head coach, not so much the players, but when there's a controversy surrounding the head coach like that, what impact does it have on the team and the players?
I think good things is Japan still people behave very good and try to be professional as much as possible. Of course, there is an issue between the players and coaches that time, and Aguirre has a different problem outside of the pitch as well. But we had a good squad.
Yeah.
And look, Vaid Halilovic had many issues with different clubs, different countries. But even though in Japan we are very together, play together and work together. And still I communicate sometimes with the assistant coach, and sometimes I text with Aguirre. So we had a good relationship, so still on. And this mentality is, as you know, this is Japanese, and we are not try to screw it up anytime.
Yeah.
We are, even difficult situation, we try to work together to find solution. This is probably mentality come from Hasebe.
Yeah.
He's always between players and the coaches and organize everything to make sure everything smooth. And I was probably not like that, but still everybody respect that way. So this is as you said, I would say it's a legacy.
Yeah. And speaking of Mr. Moriyasu, you know, it's interesting to me that you guys have a domestic manager. I mean, Korea now has a domestic manager too, but like the consensus in Korea was that because Korea now has so many players in Europe, maybe a European coach or like a foreign coach would be more suitable for Korea, which is why Korea has had European coaches prior to the current one. For Japan, when Mr. Moriyasu first became the head coach, like what was the consensus amongst the players? What's your kind of opinion on the fact that, oh, now that we have all these players in Europe, maybe a foreign or European coach is more suitable for the national? Like, what's your opinion on that kind of public?
But he was already in the squad, you know,
Right.
as assistant coach, and everybody knows how he is and his personality.
Yeah.
Is very respectful and. I would say stumble. The good way.
Yeah.
He knows as well.
Yeah.
And so he committed to the team, committed to the country, and he understands what meaning to representing the own country. So every meeting he appreciates the fans, the staff, and the people who working for the football industry. This for me is wow.
Yeah.
And of course, if one manager taking long time, it's getting like just again, repeat, then the player get bored. But he making a good competition between the players, and so far is doing very, very well. And of course, if we have already base for 4 years, the next stage is much easier to start. Normally, we have new coach who don't know about Japan, and the first one year or even more, they start to understand Japanese people, Japanese organization and lifestyle and everything, and then start again. So 4 years is a really short period, but because domestic coach, he already know Japanese mentality, how we work as well. So we can skip that kind of things. Then we can go in advance more. So.
I'm gonna let's take him back to a time when he probably doesn't want to remember too much, but we'll take him there.
Sure.
To 2012 Olympics, Maya.
Congrats.
The bronze medal game. I won't repeat the result, but you were the captain of that team. And y'all lost that game, but you said after the game, I never want to lose to Korea again. I mean, damn. Like, how did that game, what kind of impact did that game have on you? I know the other two games that you played against Korea, I know the result. You don't have to remind me, but like what kind of result did that Olympic game, the result of that game, what impact did that have on you?
Probably before that, I didn't understand what Japan against Korea or Korea against Japan, because historically all the senior, my teammates just mentioned about that, and okay, before that probably I play Asian Cup semi-final. I think I was suspended.
You were suspended.
Yes.
That was Park Ji-sung's last game for Korea, by the way. I'm sure you remember. Yeah.
So that time I was 21.
You were a young player, just starting in Europe.
Totally didn't understand. And after we lost the Olympics, I understand what meaning for that game and how important to get a medal for the Korean players as well. And after that I had a heartbreak. So after that I decided I will never ever lose again against you guys.
You kept your word. I mean, you only played once against Korea after that, but you kept your word.
But we should play more.
Yeah, I think so too.
To lifting each other up.
Yeah.
Because the fans or the people in Korea not accept to keep losing against Japan.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a thing, yeah.
It's the same on the other hand. If
Yeah.
you keep losing against Korea, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
And this kind of pressure makes us better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think so too.
but I think both associations try to not play so easily
Yeah.
because they
There's
want to
that
make
pressure,
it
yeah.
more special.
Yeah.
So for special occasion like Asian Cup or World Cup, whatever, that's kind of opportunity they were making commercial as well and make it more special. So unfortunately, I didn't play against a lot.
Yeah.
But of course, when I play against Sonny, I wanted to win every time, and he scored every game. So well done.
And you know, speaking of the games against Korea, though, I mean, I also remember you said this after that bronze medal game. You said, you know, obviously it's disappointing to lose that game, but what's more important is for the players now in the Olympics to go play for the senior national team and make contributions there. I mean, I see what Japan has done since then over the last like 10 to 13 years or so. And, you know, at the World Cup, you guys have one more tournament, you advance from the group stage compared to Korea and all that. And then, you know, the friendlies you guys played against Korea, you guys have won. Do you feel like ultimately, in the end, you feel like your generation of players have come out on top of this rivalry?
I think Korea also, our generation, really good players. Ki Soyeon and Sonny is for sure, and the other as well. But probably they're missing consistency, you know, for the academy system probably. Still individually, many players playing in Europe, Germany, or even Minnesota. Yesterday we played, and already 2 players playing. The new player came. Yeah. So I don't understand what's going on with Korea. Also, the young generation.
Yeah.
If sometime Japan play against, and I saw the result, and normally it's a really difficult game, but now it looks really soft.
Yeah.
Maybe Korean generation changed.
No, actually, you're mentioning you played against the 2 Koreans yesterday against Minnesota. What's your impression of the 2 young players? Like, what do you think?
One is already played before, so he has technically very good.
Yeah.
But I think he needs the numbers, assist.
Yeah, sure.
If otherwise, the same Japanese midfielder could be like that, then play well. Technically very good, but physically maybe less, speed less, and then you cannot make different. If you're same, of course people prefer the homegrown, cheap.
Yeah.
Why have to be Korean? Have to be Japan? There's no reason. That's why I try to make different. Mick Yamane tried to make different, and I think we showing different as well.
Yeah.
That's that impact he needs probably. Yeah. And a new guy as well.
Sounds good.
That's how I feel. Technically, no doubt for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but have to be more thrill in the box. Have to be more clinical and passing as well.
Oh, well.
Passing, just pass or key pass is different. Pass, I can do pass. I cannot do key pass.
Yeah.
We're hoping to meet them later too, so we'll pass on the comments hopefully.
Yeah. Maya, J-League clubs, I feel like they seem more open to helping Japanese players move to Europe compared to some of our clubs, to be honest. Because I feel like a lot of Korean clubs are more business-like, which, I mean, it's understandable. You know, clubs have to do what they do. But when you were leaving for Europe, was the financials of the deal ever a concern at any point for you when you were first moving to the Netherlands? Because do you think it's kind of like that lenient attitude from the J-League clubs with helping players move to Europe? Do you think that helps Japanese football? Like, would it be a lot more difficult for Japanese players if the clubs were a little bit more business-like, where they really wanted, you know, bang for the buck for their players?
Yes, it is business. It's much more business, because this is how football is now, and this is socialism as well. But unfortunately, it's really difficult to stop young, ambitious player to move to Europe, like I did.
Yeah.
So my time, different generation, different time. But my sports directors every day, every week, called me to upstairs in the office, and he explained with whiteboard what's going on now, that you should be this, then we pay this, everything, every week. I was so annoying. But I felt the love from the club. I really appreciate it. And of course, Dutch have the salary cap from foreign players, so financially it was better, but Nagoya offered me even better. So this is not financial decision for me. I never make a financial decision in my career. That's why I'm still here. So
This is the real answer right here.
and that's why J League club have to think about next step. For example, you can sell the player, but you can get like percentage for next transfer.
Right.
Then if it's international, then you can get also TC. So this is a way so far to organize, and also I would say LDVG is this very similar level, except Ajax, Feyenoord, some that's big club, and the middle class is almost same level as the Japanese. But it's, you cannot calculate, oh, this guy can play LDVG because of mentality and adaptation as well. Not only on the pitch, but off the pitch is very important. Like languages and lifestyle, food, everything is very connecting. So, for example, loan to Dutch club, and option to buy if he play well. Then the club is happy to pay the transfer fee. And if he doesn't succeed, then the guy come back to play in J League. Still guarantee he can have still same quality of the squad. I think this kind of the things is have to manage. Otherwise now just expire the contract and keep losing the players. That's no one wants. Even player doesn't want. You know, I grew up from Nagoya since I was 12. I wanted to contribute to the club, but unfortunately, this age, at that time, it was really difficult to pay Asian centre backs to pay like some millions. But
I mean, even now for Dutch clubs, it's difficult to pay that much money.
So we'll take it back to 2011 a little bit because
2011.
Because of the Asian Cup victory for you guys. I mean, national honors is like a huge deal, and obviously, 2011 was the last chance that, you know, fans of our generation, Park Ji-sung, we hoped he could get a championship there, but you guys won the tournament, so there must be some sort of feel-good factor to it. But I actually want to sort of explore sort of your memory of kind of that triumph and the win.
Yeah,
like
because
what that felt like.
To me, that game between, I mean, forget about who won the game. But that game between Korea and Japan was probably one of the best games that I've seen. Like, of all the great games that Korea and Japan have played since my childhood, I really do think that was the most exciting game. So, like, what do you remember from that experience? Maybe not just that game, but that whole tournament with Tadanari Lee scoring that goal against Australia and you guys winning that tournament.
Who you played with in Southampton, right? Tadanari Lee.
He's very funny. Well,
Too long ago?
No, the football is more dry, getting dry and dry, more business. And
it was a really emotional game.
We are missing emotion, to be
Mm.
honest. And we are missing the passion as well, because no loyalty for the players play in long time. No one club man. It's really difficult now. Stevie G, even Ward Prowse left Southampton. It's very difficult, to be honest. But in the national team game, still we can feel emotion and passion and the loyalty too, because especially Japan or even Korea, the people are really loyal to our country, right? So this kind of game I'm missing, and also of course national team is one of the best job ever in my life. Still, for the future on, I'm sure I cannot find a better job. So hopefully Japan and Korea play against in some good tournament, and like Asian Cup final or something, not just friendly, but Cup final,
World Cup qualifying or
something like that. could be really emotional and very personable.
Yeah. Last question for you, Maya. I feel like, at least in terms of age, you're probably in the twilight of your career now. There's no other Japanese player, well, not many, who has as much experience as you as a player, and you were also the captain of the team, obviously, too. So, are there anything in specific that you want to do to help improve Japanese or maybe even Asian football, even now or even beyond retirement? A last question for you.
I'm sure the Asian market is getting wider and wider.
Yeah.
It's expanding so much now, and economically, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, Singapore, they are getting much a good situation. And of course, if somebody invests to the things, they grow up. Without investment, no chance to grow up. So my concern is Japan have to invest a lot, and Japan have to improve a lot still, because Japan, Korea was like that to pushing up the Asian football so far, last 20, 30 years or even more. But now, the other countries chasing up, very tight now.
Yeah.
This race is very tight now. Of course, we have to reach to the top 20, top 10 in the world. But same time, I have to find out. We have to understand that the behind somebody coming up. So
they're coming up faster than we're going up.
Much faster.
Yeah.
And of course, with the social media, internet, now it's borderless, and no time different. They have information very quick. Like my age, when I was kid, I watched Champions League a week later or weekend match.
I remember those days. Yeah.
Now they can watch whenever they want, and you can get all the information for the training, nutrition, and the recovery immediately. So it's really tight, and I'm sure Asian markets, as Saudi Arabia, for example, they're gonna grow up very quickly. So of course I want to contribute to Japan and probably Asia, probably Galaxy in the future. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully I have a longer term future in Galaxy as well. And Galaxy has a potentially huge company behind AZ, so we can collaborate something together in even Asia or America. It would be great.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good.
FC Seoul Galaxy.
Oh, I'm down for that.
Okay, great.
Cheers.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you so much. Yeah,
very
really
much.
appreciate
Thank
it. 자, 여러분 인터뷰 마쳤습니다. 햇빛이 인터뷰를 마치니까 갑자기 제 얼굴을 때리기 시작하네요. 어떠셨나요?
좋았어. 진짜 뜻깊은 대화였던 것
재밌었나?
같습니다.
저는 뭔가 이 일본 선수들 인터뷰하면 제가 항상 느끼는 건데 늘 그 일본인 특유의 잔잔함이 있어요.
문화적인 잔잔함이라.
뭔가 차분한데 뭔가 생각을 많이 하는 듯한 그런 뉘앙스의 답변들이 굉장히 많아서 저는 모르겠어요. 인터뷰한 걸 다시 봐야 될 것 같긴 한데 그래도 굉장히 흥미로운 부분이 많지 않았나. 저는
요시다 선수가 그냥 워낙 잔잔하고 든든하게 잘 하는.
맞아요. 그리고 흥미로운 부분이 이거였습니다. 월드컵이 만족스럽지가 않다. 아니 3번 나갔거든요, 월드컵. 2번을 16강을 갔어요. 그것도 마지막에 나간 거 2번을 16강을 갔단 말이에요. 근데 그게 만족감보다는 후회가 더 많다라는 얘기를 했거든요.
그렇죠.
근데 이게 우리가 이렇게 생각해야 될 필요는 있어요. 모든 일본 선수들의 생각이 이렇지는 않을 수가 있다. 아니 이게 요시다가
그렇게 생각하세요? 그렇게 생각하세요?
왜냐하면 이 요시다가 좀 특출난 사람이에요. 가만 보니까. 그러니까 이 친구는 영어 공부를 11살 때부터 했대요.
그리고 지금 말하는 거 보니까 자기는 경제적인 이유로 디시전을 해본 적이 없다 그러잖아요.
아니 근데 그게 아무리 그 시절이라도 2010년 2009년 이때 J리그에서 네덜란드로 넘어간다는 거는 제가 그 연봉을 사실 알아요. 50만 불을 받았어요. 근데 사실 그 시절이라고 하더라도 프로 선수의 연봉으로는 그게 굉장히 제가 생각하기에는 일본 국가대표였기 때문에 이미 그때 일본에서 받을 수 있었던 연봉보다 낮았을 거예요.
그 얘기했잖아요. 나고야에서 더 제시했다.
여전히 이 친구의 그 당시에 이적료는 공개가 되지 않아요. 제 생각에는 이적료 안 받고 나갔던 것 같아요.
아, 진짜 대단하네. 구단이.
아마 그렇지 않았을까라는 생각. 왜냐하면 이게 전혀 공개가 되질 않는 걸 보면은 아마 제 생각에는 좀 굉장히 낮은 수준이거나
낮거나
아니면은 좀 이렇게 공개하기가 좀 꺼려지는
그렇죠.
액수가 아니었나라는 생각. 왜냐면 그게 뒤늦게라도 좀 공개가 될 만도 한데 공개가 안 되는 걸 보니 좀 그런 것 같고 그 외에 좀 흥미로운 부분이 뭐가 있었나요?
뭐 은퇴 후의 계획 저는
네,
굉장히 의미심장한 발언을 하지 않았나.
그렇죠. 그러니까 확실히 제가 이 질문을 그렇게 하기는 했지만 그런 계획이 있는 것 같아요. 일본에서만 활동하고 싶지는 않다는.
그렇죠.
아시아 축구를 위한
세계
뭔가,
무대로.
그러니까 그건 것 같아요. 박지성 선수도 이제 은퇴를 하면서 이제 동남아에서 자선 활동 같은 것도 많이 하고 그러잖아요. 그 이후에 보면은 좀 그런 식으로 좀 이렇게 뭐랄까요, 범아시아 위주의 좀 이렇게 기여를 하고 싶어하는 마음이 좀 있는 것 같고, 지금 농담으로 하는 말이 서울, 부산에다가도 뭐 축구 클리닉 같은 걸 하고 싶다는
뭐 서울
얘기를 하는 걸
갤럭시
보니까
뭐 이런 걸 하고 싶다 이런 얘기 나왔고, 그리고 또 놀라웠던 게 이제 아시아 지역에서 재난이 있거나 큰 어려움이
맞아요.
생겼을 때 연합해서 할 수 있는 준비를 해야 된다도 아니고 준비가 되어 있다였어요.
맞아요.
선수협끼리 얘기를 이미 해놨다.
네, 얘기를 하고 있다.
굉장히 의미 있는 이야기가 아닌가.
네, 그러니까 작년에 인터뷰를 했을 때 그 선수협회 얘기를 하면서 근데 그 안에서 회의에서 오가는 말을 이렇게 얘기하기는 좀 애매하다고 하더라고요. 왜냐면 그거는 뭐 이제 아직 추진해야 되는 일들이기 때문에 언론에다가 얘기를 하기 사실 좀 애매하겠죠.
그렇죠.
근데 저는 또 그 부분도 사실 굉장히 흥미로웠어요. 이 친구가 지금 제가 물어봤잖아요. 이 큰 그림에서 볼 때 당신들이 올림픽에서 지기는 했는데 그래도 한국보다 좀 앞선다고 생각을 하느냐라고 제가 물어봤잖아요. 근데 그렇게까지는 생각 안 한다는
그렇죠,
식으로 얘기를 하긴 했는데 근데 제 생각엔 그렇게 생각하는 것 같아요.
말은 그렇게 했지만
왜냐하면 이 입장 바꿔서 생각을 해보세요. 본인은 그렇게 생각할 수밖에 없어 사실. 그래서 저는 아무래도 그렇지 않을까라는 대답을 할 줄 알고 저는 그걸 물어봤는데 역시 좀
역시나
미디어 트레이닝이 돼 있는 것 같습니다.
방금 하고 왔다고 하지 않습니까?
미디어 트레이닝을 하고 여기에 지금 바로 또 온 거라 지금 이 프리시즌이라 그런 것 같고 또 뭐 저희가 방송을 또 추가적으로 하면서 이 인터뷰에 대한 얘기는 하겠지만 저는 굉장히 좋았어요. 굉장히 뜻깊은 시간이 아니었나. 더 많은 일본 선수들이랑 이렇게 인터뷰를 한번 해보고 싶다는 생각도 좀 들고.
우리의 언어 능력이 조금만 잘 된다면 좋겠지만.
이 나카무라 슌스케가 영어를 할 줄 알까요?
전 잘 모르겠어요.
그게 좀
인터뷰 영상 같은 걸 본 적이 기억이 없는데.
제가 알기로는 통역을 늘 달고 다녔다는 얘기를 들은 것 같긴 하거든요. 그래서 한번 그런 선수들도 굉장히 재밌지 않을까. 근데 나카무라는 제가 듣기로는 이 요시다랑 좀 다른 걸로 알고 있습니다.
다른 유형의 선수인가?
좀 많이 다른 걸로 알고 있어서 그거는 좀 생각을 해봐야 될 것 같고. 뭐 저는 아무튼 너무 좋았어요. 굉장히 즐거웠다. 저희가 지금 취재를 나와가지고 오늘이 우리의 캠프의 첫날입니다. 그래서 이게 또 일정이 이렇게 잡혀 있죠. 구체적인 일정은 저희가 알려드리진 않아요. 그렇지만 또 굉장히 익사이팅한 그런 프로젝트를 저희가 또 이제 대기를 시켜놓고 있기 때문에 일단 세 번째 인터뷰로 세르지오 코스타 그리고 클린스만 감독 그 이후에 요시다 마야 인터뷰를 공개를 하게 된 것 같고요. 또 다음 인터뷰를 저희는 또 이제 숙소로 가서 숙소도 안 잡았어요 지금 아직. 숙소 잡으러 가야 됩니다. 숙소를 잡아서 거기서 다음 인터뷰 아마 내일 진행이 될 수도 있을 것 같고 내일 하는 인터뷰는 또 어떤 식으로 저희가 또 그거를 이렇게 할지는 또 이제 또 생각을 해봐야 될 것 같은데 저희는 늘 이렇게 해놓고 봅니다. 해놓고 보는 사람들이라 저희는 또 다음 인터뷰로 그럼 돌아오도록 하겠습니다. 요시다 마야 인터뷰 즐겁게 보셨기를 바라고요. 저희가 이 유니폼의 주인공을 곧 찾게 될 텐데 경품 이벤트 어떤 게 있을지 곧 말씀드리겠습니다. 그럼 마무리하죠.
네.
고생하셨습니다.
네, 해주셨습니다.
저희는 다음 인터뷰로 돌아오겠습니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.